What's up, y'all? It's T-Tar, and with Gen 9, we got a bunch of cross evolutions. Annihilate, Kingambit, Farigiraf, the Dunsparce, and now in the DLCs, they started giving attention to Galar Pokemon with Dipplin and Archaludon. So I wanted to make a video talking about other Galar Pokemon that might evolve in the DLC, just to spread some fun ideas. So I want to start off with the whole thought experiment. Here's the silhouette here. It is an evolution relating to Runerigus. Now, Runerigus is a Pokemon that is a Yamask. It accidentally picked up a slab instead of this Egyptian mask, and this slab essentially overtakes Yamask and makes its own evolution, Runerigus, when the conditions are met. So I want to give you a fun idea. What if that Runerigus evolved further? You see, Runerigus's entry is a powerful curse was woven into an ancient painting. After absorbing the spirit of a Yamask, the painting began to move. So Runerigus is no longer Yamask, it's overtaken. It's like the essence of this ancient dragon is in the dusty bowl in Galar, and that's why when Yamask is holding just a piece of that slab and goes there, it gets fully overtaken. I mean, if you want to get serious, Yamask has to take enough damage that it's weakened enough to be taken over by Runerigus. In fact, 49 damage means Shiku in Japanese, which is death and then like agony and torture. So as of Runerigus, Yamask is dead, even though it was a ghost. Never touch its shadow-like body or you'll be shown the horrific memories behind the picture carved into it. And so about what's carved on the tablet, it's obviously in the shape of some dragon. It's a serpent. It must have been so threatening it got sealed away and turned into a curse. I mean, this is the best artwork I could find, but what if Runerigus evolved further and the actual dragon came out? You know, it would be something like a ground dragon type. But wouldn't that be such a cool way to bring out that dragon that's inscribed on these tablets? In a weird way, using Yamask, it got resurrected. So this is the silhouette, and it's been fully freed from the slab, but it's still only a drop of what it once was. You can see it carries this wireframe that hints what the dragon it used to be is, but it's forced to be a shadow. I meant more of the actual dragon itself being unsealed as it was, hence the ground dragon type, but this is cool too. It's like ghost dragon. You see, I'm just using the setups Gamefreak gave. You could also have some kind of Shedinja situation where once you bring out the dragon, you get an empty Pokemon left behind, the Runerigus slab, but that's too complicated. Alright, so next one is a Pokemon no one cares about. It's Falinks. And this is exactly why we have to talk about it. Paldea is acting like the Johto, giving Galar the Kanto treatment, which we knew gave birth to Pokemon like Crobat, Kingdra, Blissey, and Scizor, which before this gen, they didn't have much going for them. That's why I think this dumb Pokemon could somehow evolve in this. So what Falinks actually is 6 of these Pokemon. The one at the front just gives the orders and the ones in the back listen. Technically, there could be like a pre-evolution where it's just one of them, and there could be alternate versions of Falinks where they've strayed away instead of working together. But anyhow, here's a pretty cool take to evolve Falinks called Falong, like Shenlong. It's the spiritual dragon in Chinese mythology, and it's just one of the eastern dragons. It's blue. And here's the design where the front one grows those whiskers like it is a dragon, and now they're moving together like a dragon on the land. It's a clever way to evolve it, but the coolest part of this is that it's not a dragon. It's the Dragon Hunter Pokemon, and it's fighting steel. It kills dragons while just pretending to look like one. And the steel typing makes sense because it's like it develops one of the few typings that can resist dragons' moves. This thing would have the stats of like a fully evolved starter Pokemon, around 530, and that would make it pretty cool. This is the kind of design Gamefreak would do. They came up with Dipplin. So the next one takes us to a certain Pokemon, Rapidash. Now, it got a regional variant in Galar, but what Galar also introduced was Pokemon like Obstagoon, where the regional variant could evolve further. So what Paldea could do is discover an evolution to it somehow only in Paldea. You see, when Gamefreak first teased Ponyta in those long live streams, people loved it. A lot of people expected the Pegasus to come out when it became Rapidash, but they kept it true to how the original Rapidash looks, which is just a bigger Ponyta. This is a take where Rapidash could evolve to become the Pegasus. Now, we got 3 typings to juggle here. We got Psychic, Fairy, and Flying. I guess it wouldn't be a flying type. It would just have the wings for no reason and maybe have a signature move that lets it use its wings. It would probably remain a Psychic Fairy type. It's given the name Magisus, So I guess Magic and Pegasus. And I mean, at this point, it's so sparkly that if you saw this fly by, it would just look like a bunch of stars or something. Close your eyes, man. You can envision someone in the DLC just sending out Magisus. And it's a evolved Galar and Rapidash. And well, let's end off with the Kanto Pokemon, just for a breath of fresh air. I mean, look at these three. They're still pandering to the earlier gens. Once I laid eyes on this, I knew I wanted it. So this is the silhouette here. And what it is the evolution of Sandslash, but not the Alolan ones. It's the true Cantonian Sandslash evolved again, and it's called Sandslayer. My goodness! It's listed as a ground dragon type. Everyone loves the dragon type. You know, Sandslash is such a peewee Pokemon. You find it at the start of the game. If you evolved it again, it would be a monster. It's just funny because we find Alolan Sandslash, and then we realize Cantonian can evolve further. So apparently this is an evolution where Sandslash had to fight against a lot of dragon Pokemon and developed a way to survive. So it's actually wielding dragon scales and has cloaked itself in dragon scales as well. This is interesting. With a story like this, you could evolve any Pokemon. You could explain why Sandslash never evolved up until now by showing it needs to be around a certain enemy to evolve further. So for example, if there are a lot of dragons in Area 0, then only Sandslashes that were stuck and confined with them in Area 0 would have found this evolution. But technically it's always been out there. The Gen 1er in me has faded away over the years, but whenever I see something like this, it brings it right back out. You know what, I got a mission for you, Sandslayer. Make your Pokedex say you kill Iron Thorns. That's what you live for. Wipe them out for me. And one more, I decided to go with the peewee Pokemon none of us respect, and it's from Gen 2, and here's the silhouette. Maybe you can tell, but that is a Magcargo evolution. There's a story to tell with this, but I'm just gonna show you straight up. It is called Magma Gong, and this is what it looks like. I can't believe it. Now, it's all about the context. You have to imagine the final boss in the DLC casually sending it out, and it doesn't matter how peewee the preform was, it suddenly looks badass. Freaking Briar sent out Magma Gong. Don't even start. So it's listed as a fire steel type, and there's a story with Slugma. You see, Slugma is a piece of lava that's wandering around, but like Charmander, it's at a risk of dying at any moment. If Slugma ever stops moving, it hardens and dies. It's written in its Pokedex entry. It never sleeps. It has to keep moving. You never thought to give pity to this Pokemon. So it makes sense, right? If Slugma keeps wandering for like a couple months, slowly a rock will build up behind it and it just becomes a Magcargo. It's a slow evolution. So it's a sad story, but it's survival of the fittest. All Magcargos are marathon runners that have run for like 4 months straight. But it's not as happy a story as you think. Some of Magcargo's Pokedex entries say the shell on its back is just skin that is cooled and hardened. It breaks easily with a slight touch. Magcargo existed since Gen 2, and it's been a pity party its whole life. In fact, Magcargo has never gotten attention again from Gamefreak. No Gmax or anything. It last logged on 24 years ago, in 1999. It does have a bit of a desolate land going on where it's so hot water actually vaporizes around it, but it never got an ability to reflect that. You see, for a Pokemon this sad, the only thing I would grant it is sturdiness, where it simply no longer has to fear for its life and it can live somewhere. Look at it. It's like a little dog asking for help. The funny situation here is the shell on its back, you see this artwork, it looks like it's a slug, but it's not. It's like Slugma and Magcargo are regional fakes of an actual slug Pokemon, you know? They can spin it backwards. It's a lava Pokemon first, and coincidentally looks like a slug. Well, a snail. Well, that's why we bring it full circle to Magma Gong. As a fire steel type, it has finally been granted full sturdiness. And it's come with the personality change because he wants revenge. It uses its new steel gong shell as a weapon and becomes a spinning wheel of magma, leaving these giant tracks behind. That face means it's here to destroy the village. Everyone who wronged it and touched its shell. It's about time Magcargo got his redemption arc. What fire trainers do we have? Okay, Crispin. Imagine you're in the Blueberry Elite Four and this is his signature and final Pokemon. He's about to send out Magma Gong. It's over. Make it happen, Game Freak. Don't piss me off. This is like the perfect conclusion to Magcargo. Yeah, Steel gives it still the 4 times weakness to ground, but we all need a weakness. He doesn't need Earth Eater or anything. Let him be weak to ground. I'm gonna call it quits here. Make sure y'all shank that like button and let me know a Galar Pokemon you think should evolve in the DLC. I'll make another one of these soon and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.